According to Statistics South Africa, absenteeism costs the local economy some 16 billion rand per annum. While the cost of presentism is more difficult to quantify, researchers at the Victoria Institute of Strategic Economic Studies have further estimated that the growing toll of lost productivity resulting from absenteeism and presentism could shave as much as 7% from South Africa's total GDP by 2030. Well, according to Arnoux Maré, the Managing Director of Innovative Staffing Solutions, companies are facing a significant rise in absenteeism and presentism as employees buckle under the pressure of a difficult economic environment and growing financial strain. And he joins us now via Zoom to tell us more. Arnoux, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning to you. Well, thanks for having me.
Now, what has caused the significant rise in absenteeism and presentism in the workplace?
I think if we look at what's been happening in the world as a whole in the past few years and still happening, we faced an epidemic. We expected our employees to actually work from home, to continue with their daily lives as normal and control their own working times and environment. And that led to a culture change and a culture shift in the workplace. Now employees are expected to come back to work. They're expected to follow the normal disciplines of work and regulations within the workplace, and that is a difficult shift to make back again.
So what does this mean for businesses in general?
Well, there's two problems that we are looking at. One would definitely be absenteeism, where an employee is not at work, staying away, and of course no production happens in that time. Presenteeism is where an employee is actually at work and not doing the production that he's supposed to be delivering to the company. And we must remember that a company doesn't pay for the employee. They can't actually buy the employee himself or herself. A company pays for the production that the employee brings to the organization. That brings the problem where production starts going down. And if we see production going down, then at the end of the day, we will see companies starting to suffer because of down production. And this will cause a nationwide problem.
Well, some solutions have been bandied about, such as outsourcing. When it comes to outsourcing, then how can it assist companies to overcome staff challenges?
We must remember when we outsource, let's say we look at an engineering company, their operational expertise is doing the actual engineering work, planning of structures and actually building those structures and so forth. When you outsource to a specialist, their operations is basically managing employees and helping those employees meet the demands of the clients that they employ. It is an excellent way to outsource your non-core business to people that actually understand that, like you would outsource your printers or your IT or any of that to people that actually understands that facet of the business world better than the company does themselves. So it can definitely lift production. It can help employees and employers to better accommodate each other and better know what's expected of them.
Could you tell us a bit more about Innovative Staffing Solutions and your services?
Well, Innovative Staffing Solutions is an operational outsourcing firm. So we assist companies to meet those operational needs that they need to remain present in the markets, and also very uplifting those standards of operations to the point where they actually needed to become relevant and more stronger in the marketplace by outsourcing employees and the whole entire operations of their company to Innovative Staffing Solutions, which specializes in those functions. We are part of the ISG group, a national group, and yes, we have been very successful with assisting companies in their growth and assisting employees to have better working conditions.
So how has the ISS been able to apply these tips to client companies, and what has been the feedback?
Well, I think it's very positive at the moment. From the lockdown started to present, we've employed over 7,000 employees, making us one of the bigger employment creation companies in South Africa. Clients enjoy it because they don't have to worry about the normal employees problems that they usually would. They have somebody that actually helps them on a HR level, and they can actually talk about their production problems with ISS and say, we need production to be at this point and this point, and ISS can then advise them to say, to get your production there, we also need to look at what the employees need, how to engage with these employees, and take that production as a partnership and take it forward.
You know, Arnoux, if the pandemic has taught us anything about work, is that we don't necessarily have to pull long hours to be more productive at work. So why is presentism so important?
Well, the problem we have is, I think you and Packard did a study a few years ago. They found that since social media has hit the market, that certain employees would spend up to 70% of their day on social media and not actually doing what they're supposed to do. And now if we put that into with the statement you made, which says we don't have to work such long hours, yes, I agree. It's better to work smarter than to actually work harder. But you still need to put that hours in to be able to finish the job that is expected of you. You can't do less than that at the moment. So I think today is a perfect time for any employee to actually shine in the workplace. There's been so many problems with people losing their positions and so forth, that if you actually just put the hours in now, you have an excellent time that you can actually show your employer that you are the employee to take forward and to grow in the corporate structure.
But why do managers still fall for presentism, though? I mean, doesn't it, clinging to presentism culture, does it not favor those who have got the time to show up early and leave late?
I think it's a very difficult and new phase of the working place to manage, actually. When you look over an office of employees, everybody's sitting on their laptops looking like they're busy. It's very difficult to actually go to each laptop and see what they have been doing. The problem with presenteeism is that you only notice it later on in your organization as production starts decreasing over amounts of time. And then you have to start looking at that problem and how to fix it. So as it's quite a new problem in the business world, I think managers are struggling to actually manage it and actually know how to discipline it at the end of the day. This is where the burden against falls on the employee to actually ensure that they don't partake in presenteeism and do what is expected of them, and employers to actually engage with employees and tell them better ways of dealing with the problems that we are facing today, and assist them with problems that they are having to prevent problems like presenteeism.
Believe me, presenteeism is a thing, and it's so rife. I mean, I know that it's a thing, opening your laptop and pretending to be busy. All right, Arnoux, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate your time. That's the Managing Director of Innovative Staffing Solutions, Arnoux Maré, and he's been sharing some tips on how companies can boost employee productivity.